everybody, Ben Rudolph from Microsoft here. I'm with Kevin Beck, Master Explainer of Things for Lenovo. Kevin, thanks for letting us hang out.
Hey, glad to do it, man. I'm pretty excited about what we got to talk about today.
So we're going to start talking about the ThinkPad X1 series. So I have been a Lenovo, and before that even an IBM ThinkPad user for ages, and they are kind of like the gold standard for like a business class machine.
We think so.
Amazing keyboards, the awesome track points that we're calling them.
Track point.
Still calling them track points.
Capital T, capital P.
It's like easy to repair, easy to take apart. They're awesome, and you've got some new stuff to show us today.
We do.
So what are we starting with over here?
Okay, so this is the newly redesigned, or the brand new for this year, third generation of our X1 tablet.
Okay.
Right, so X1 within the ThinkPad line is the top. Right, and so from a design perspective, what we've done this year for all three of our X1 products, X1 Tablet, X1 Yoga, but we're setting it apart, right? It's a little bit of a higher end ThinkPad, and so this one for this year has moved up to a 13.3 inch 3K HDR ready screen. The colors are amazing.
That is beautiful.
8th generation Intel Core processors, all the bells and whistles. Also,
comes with a pen.
Comes with a pen. Look at that, just flew right in there. But because it's a tablet, obviously the main utility sort of use case is that you can pull the keyboard off, use it as a tablet, pen, do your inking, anything that you want to do in OneNote, any of your other applications. We get that open, set that back up there.
There we go.
And the keyboard just attaches back. And since you are a long-term fan of the ThinkPad keyboard, just put your digits on that, right? That's a 1.5 millimeter, super stiff, awesome travel keyboard.
It feels as nice as a laptop.
Yep.
And I like it. I mean, I'll say as a Microsoft guy, this design will look pretty familiar to a lot of people.
Form does follow function.
But what I love is that you've taken a very unique ThinkPad Lenovo approach to it. Like that killer, I mean, if you've never typed on a ThinkPad, you have to. Like it is one of the best, if not the best keyboard from our ecosystem out there. It is something that keeps people coming back to ThinkPads for, like I did, for years and years and years. You just upgrade to the new one because you know that it's got that great usability. So the form factor is fantastic. I love what you're doing with Windows Ink, works great with Windows 10, but it's still very much a ThinkPad. And I like that because there's so many people who rely on them for work and play.
IR camera and fingerprint reader for Windows Hello, whichever you want, both, one or the other. Also, on my right here, this is the ThinkPad X1 Tablet healthcare case. So this is a mil-spec and IP certified healthcare case for folks who need to use their tablet, their X1 tablet, in a healthcare type setting. Right. Anybody needs to walk around, use a pen, perfect.
And for those of you who aren't exactly as deep on it as we are, what that means is that you can drop it, you can get it wet, you can spray it down with bleach, and these can be fully sanitized. They can be used in a commercial sense. And I don't mean commercial the way you and I work, where we're typing on an airplane in a nice, safe office, but if you're out in the field, this is the kind of thing, if you're in a hospital environment, you're dealing with a sick patient, there are pathogens in the air, you need to spray this thing down, wipe it down with bleach, and make sure it's completely sterilized. You wouldn't want to do that to a naked machine. So you've got the great case that allows you to do that and still get full functionality.
Exactly.
Awesome. So we've got the tablet.
Right.
Now we're going to talk convertibles.
Right. We're moving sort of through the continuum of tablet to convertible, and then we'll go to traditional clamshell after this. So, as I said before, these are the new ThinkPad X1 Yogas. Now, one of the key things that we added for the X1 Carbon and the X1 Yoga for this year are super bright 500 nits HDR 400 displays that also support Dolby Vision HDR.
Got it.
Right.
Did you guys catch all those details?
A lot of acronyms.
That means the displays are amazing. I hope that you're watching this in HD. It's tough for it to come through on video, but the clarity and the brightness that comes off this display is something else.
It's amazing. And we also, on the models that have the standard HD webcam, look at that right there. Little switch, turns red, hardware privacy shutter.
That's great.
The Think shutter.
The Think shutter. That's great. And these are obviously, you can take these, you can flip them around, you can use them as a traditional laptop. I don't want to set off the security here. You can use it in tent, you can use it as a tablet. And one of my favorite things about this is that dockable pen. Like it is, it's no small feat of engineering to give up this much space in a laptop and still make sure that you've got the performance and the battery life that you need. And it's just one of those thoughtful ThinkPad designs that I really try not to set that off.
Yeah, no worries.
That, I really appreciate. You take the pen, you dock it in, when you're done, you pull it out.
And it charges in the system. It's a super capacitor pen, so it's always ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I love about Lenovo and I love about ThinkPads is the intentionality of the design. Like everything is designed to be functional. Keyboard is designed to be functional. They look great. And you could argue that ThinkPads are some of the most iconic designs where like you walk into a meeting, you open up a ThinkPad, you mean business.
Yeah. For 25 years, if you say it's a black rectangle with a red dot in the middle, you know who you're talking about.
Exactly right. I mean, there are very few products in any industry that are as iconic as the ThinkPad, but every piece of the design, the keyboard, the trackpad, the track point, like it's all designed to be super functional so you can get more done, you can be more productive, which
Absolutely.
I love. These are great machines.
Just one little last bonus since you were talking about the keyboard. So I've got a fully functional keyboard here.
Yep.
Now, when I spin this around 360 degrees in the tablet mode, I don't need that keyboard.
Right.
Now, I've chosen, if I buy this model, to have a convertible with a keyboard as opposed to a detachable tablet. Take a look at the keys on the keyboard. When I flip that around, they fully retract down into.
Got it. They retract into the body.
They do. They retract into the
Let
body.
you catch your breath. But this is not just so the keys stay safe, but ergonomically, I mean, they're dead solid, right? So it feels like you're holding the tablet, and it feels, you don't get the click, your fingers don't catch on it, feels great.
And you don't get that like subconscious feeling that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. Right? It's all about the subtleties of the usability. And lastly, but not leastly, it pulls the keys back up here, but watch it as I close it again.
Oh, they retract when you close it.
Because when you're typing, your fingers deposit oil on the keys.
Yep.
How many times have you ever opened a laptop and
you get you get the little like silhouette.
The keys pull down when it closes to keep the oil off the screen.
But those are like kind of little things, right? That like
exactly.
That may not be something that you would put in the TV ad.
Yep.
But the minute that your sales professional, your account exec, whoever shows you this, you go, oh, they should all work like that. Like that's something that just feels really great. All right, so we've got tablet, we talk convertible, but you still have a killer traditional laptop as well in the X1 Carbon.
And let me just mention one thing that all three of these have in common. These have dual 360 degree 4-meter far field microphones, so that your experience with Cortana is just amazing.
Awesome.
Like
so now,
across the room, like it's almost a smart speaker, but it's a PC.
Now I don't have to yell at Cortana, I can just talk to Cortana from across the room. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Let's go check out that laptop.
All right, so this is the traditional, as you put it, ThinkPad X1 Carbon, now in its 6th generation. And like we were talking about before, I just want to point out the thinness of these bezels.
Yeah.
Right? When we did that last year and carried on to this year, this system had to be completely redesigned from the ground up to get these bezels thin enough but still have the room to run all the cables necessary for the IR camera for Windows Hello, the regular camera, the microphones. So we redesigned this from the ground up, moved the antennas to different places, re-engineered an entirely new type of carbon fiber, all in something that's 16 millimeters and under 2.5 pounds.
Yeah, these are excellent pieces. Like these are the kind of things where, like, if you've ever been to a furniture store, where they have the cardboard TV and laptop set up, and you pick it up and you're like, oh, it's so light. Like, this is how light this PC feels to me. Like, it's so light it doesn't feel real. And I said, we were talking before we started the video that my first laptop when I joined Microsoft was a 15.6-inch Lenovo T61P.
Had one of those too?
6.5 pounds, 2-pound power brick. Outstanding machine. Think about the ability to have the high-res display, the killer keyboard, the track point, everything that I relied on in that giant brick of a PC.
In under 2.5 pounds.
Into something that's 2.5 pounds. This one comes in the silver, comes in black, traditional
silver and
as well.
Black, exactly. And I will just point out for our corporate customers out there, there are 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports here and a hardware Ethernet port. And when you put this down into our new docking system, you are fully, if I can get it to go. Anyway, you are fully docked in via 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports with native Ethernet in a classic corporate docking scenario for those who need that.
It's great. I mean, awesome design, lots of ports, super key. Something that I absolutely love about this, so you guys see that? It's a full-size HDMI port.
Yep.
Which is something that's becoming rarer and rarer on ultra-thin devices, but it's still critically important. You're in a conference room, you need to plug it in, so I love the fact that these are still built for core business use, right?
Built
Maximum
for real life.
purpose. Exactly right.
What people need to do. And 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, as I pointed out here. Also, full-size USB-A, full-size USB-A.
Awesome.
So we all know that the world at some point will go to a fully USB-C
Right.
/ Thunderbolt world, but that is not yet today.
We're not there. Looking great. So we talked commercial PCs, we talked
Yep.
business PCs. We're going to talk about some consumer gear as well.
All right, let's move on over here.
I want to hide on the other side. There we go.
There we go.
So this is the Miix 630.
Right. So let me just set you up for this, right?
Okay.
Many of the same things that we talked about over there are also true of this in
Right.
terms of build quality, the dedication that went into it. But a commercial PC has a lot of things like docking and some of the other stuff we talked about that aren't things that your average home user wants to pay for. But when we looked at what people expect from their modern PCs, that expectation is driven a lot by their experiences with their phone now. So this is the first Windows 10 PC based on a Qualcomm Snapdragon platform, which
Okay.
means you've got built-in 4G for all day, anywhere connectivity, and most importantly, 20 hours of battery life.
You know, this category, this like always connected category, it's something brand new. And I love that Lenovo is one of the first partners out of the gate, because I like how you take the legacy and the hundreds, probably hundreds of millions of hours of use
Right.
time on ThinkPads, and you distilled the best of those things down and it's for everyday consumers. Like
Absolutely.
this keyboard, it may not be quite like a ThinkPad, but you can
Right.
tell it came out of a ThinkPad.
Yep. There's a stand. It's all part of the user experience. I could talk to you for half an hour about how we design keyboards, but at the end of the day, it's all about somebody buying this, putting it in front of their eyeballs, and putting their fingers on the keyboard.
And the interesting combination that you get with Windows 10, the great Lenovo PC with 20 hours of battery, the 4G LTE, you start thinking about what 20 hours of battery life actually means.
Right.
That's New York to Sydney, working, playing games, and watching movies the entire time without ever having to worry about plugging in. That's going out to camp for the weekend and still being able to watch Netflix at night and not having to be anywhere near either a Wi-Fi hotspot or to bring a charger with you. Like, you start to open up this world of possibilities where you just don't have to think about whether you're going to be able to get online or you're constantly, like at CES here, what everybody's doing, constantly looking for an outlet. Like, I wish I had one of these in my bag right now, specifically for an event like this. You just chuck it in, it's on standby forever, I get 20 hours of battery life, I'll charge it up before I fly home.
Yeah, because there's going to be some significant number of your viewers who are as geeky or more geeky than you and I are about this stuff, and they'll like all the tech specs, but ultimately at the end of the day, what people want from a computing experience, from a Lenovo laptop with Windows, in this case with a Qualcomm processor, is for it to just work, just to do what they want it to do. And that's what this is all about.
And design-wise, I like this a lot. Like a lot of the tablets, like when we talked about the X1 tablet over there, you got a kickstand coming out of the box, Surface Pro. Surface Pro has a very similar design. This one you've taken a different approach where it comes out of the top. Still got a great range of motion. It can come all the way down. It looks great. Love it. This is a great machine. I'm really excited to see what happens with this category.
And it ships with the full keyboard cover and the pen, all for $799.
It's a great price.
It is.
Kevin, we got to get running. I know there's a ton of stuff in here. We're going to hang out for a while and check it all out, but I think they're going to get mad at me if this video goes any longer.
No worries.
Kevin, thank you so much.
It was an absolute
Great
pleasure,
stuff
man.
from Lenovo. Guys, stick around. We got a lot more coming.